Hello, and welcome to Smart Mortgage Insights. I'm Mandy LaRose.
And I'm Conor. Today, we're going to bring you some news in our industry that's going to affect all of the buyers and sellers here starting on August 17th. And it has to do with the large ongoing lawsuit and the subsequent NAR settlement regarding commissions. So we're going to try to talk to you about that a little bit today and not get too deep in it, but we're going to try to just give you the Cliff Notes version.
The overview, yes. Because first of all, we are not realtors; we're loan officers.
We're not even lawyers.
No, we are not lawyers.
We
Absolutely
don't play them on
not.
TV either.
No, we do not. Absolutely not. Would have loved to have been one, but hey, that here nor there. I'm a loan officer, so we are going to give the overview of it. But again, we're not like reading the law or anything. So there we are. There. What is NAR? Let's talk about that. National Association of Realtors. So
really big group,
Yes.
kind of governing all of the realtors and their actions out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Big membership group.
Very big membership group. Yeah. I think the largest.
Yeah,
I
I think they're the
believe
largest
so.
lobbying group out there, and they're who coined the term realtor.
Yes.
And so that is a NAR term.
So if you're part of NAR, then you're a realtor. So does that make you different than a real estate agent? We won't get into the weeds. Anyways, so what this really is about, it comes down to commissions. So right now and forever, up until this new rule is going to come, for as long as real estate has been around, for many years, it has been very, the seller will generally always be paying a commission. The seller generally pays a commission of 5 to 6% on an average. And that commission is going to pay not only for the realtor's commission, but it's all for that selling their property. Let me explain that part. But also for the realtor that's going to be helping the buyer.
And it's been great for the buyer because you don't have to pay it.
Absolutely. And let's face it, I mean, the seller kind of is the cash king in that point because they have equity. So generally that 5 to 6% commission is going to come out of the equity when they sell the property and then split that out to whatever the agreement was between the agents of who's going to make what, and then everyone is on their way. And so right now, before the 17th of August, when a buyer wants to look at a property, the realtor will make an appointment, do whatever that is. They will see what kind of commission that's going to be offered for that. They will send the borrower over to the property. Well, they will take the borrower to the property, show the property, and then go from there in negotiating. And it will basically be between the listing agent and the buyer's agent on what the commission amount is going to be.
Exactly.
Well, that's now changed.
And so what Mandy's described is that commission has been listed clearly on the MLS, the multiple listing service. And that is, basically where all the information and data on houses have been there. Well, that level of compensation has been listed. This lawsuit basically says that no longer can be listed. So, what is one of the main things that's going to come about this? And one of the main things is the buyer's brokerage agreement.
Yes. So before a realtor is going to open a door for you to look at the property, they're going to need to have an agreement because
they're required.
Yes, required.
You have to sign this.
Yes, it's a requirement. And what that requirement is going to spell out is what you, the buyer, is going to pay that realtor to do their job. That's really what it comes down to.
It's basically if they sell you a home and the listing agent does not compensate your agent, you are now on the hook for that commission.
Absolutely.
That's as basic as it can get.
It really, that's as basic. So you're looking at a house that Mr. or Mrs. Seller say, we are not going to pay a commission to the buyer's agent. We're only going to pay this to our realtor to sell the home. Then you, the buyer, are now going to need to pay the portion of the commission. Now, what is that portion? Well, that's going to be discussed between you and your realtor. You guys are going to discuss that. They're going to give you what their service is going to be. And then based on that, that's where you're going to come up with how much one is going to pay for that service. Because let's face it, if you've never done this before, or you haven't done this often, or you haven't done this a lot, it's going to be really important that you have that professional representing you. The last thing you want to be doing is going into a legal binding contract where you don't understand the terms, conditions, or anything like that. So it's going to be important that you are working with someone, but that you also know what you're going to be paying them as well.
And it may not be a big deal. It really may not be. The big thing is on August 17th, you have to sign this agreement basically saying that one way or the other, your agent is going to get paid, either out of the proceeds from the seller or out of your pocket as the buyer. And so that's the big thing. But as Mandy said, it's been since the beginning of time practically that the selling side is paying the selling and the buying side. So is a switch going to get flipped on August 17th that you're going to have to pay, for your agent services? Most likely not. Is it a potential that you might have to pay it and you should be ready for it? Absolutely.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I mean, I think that it sounds like a fun idea at first. Yeah, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that commission. Those buyers can pay it themselves. But the reality is like I said in the beginning of this, the seller kind of has the power with the money, because of the equity they have built in. And if you really need to sell your house and you're in a hurry to get that property sold and you need to move on to something else and get your life moving, but then you're gonna be like, hey, I'm not paying anyone's commission. Well, that's gonna limit your pool because again, borrowers are gonna, not all borrowers are gonna have 5% to put down, pay then now the realtor, their fee and closing costs and all this other stuff. It'll start adding up. I mean, we both already dealing with this. It can be tight for buyers sometimes.
Sure.
We've
just down payment, closing
for
costs.
sure. We've had many episodes where we've talked about how does someone get money for their down payment or their closing costs, gifts, things like that. So now this could potentially be another added layer. And again, I think that I hope that it somewhat stays status quo, but I think you're going to have your one-offs. You're going to have those property sellers that are like, nope, not doing it. Your for sale by owner situations, things like that, where that could change. So it's important for you as the buyer, and important for us also as the mortgage lender that we're understanding when you are making an offer, what that's going to look like, not just with your down payment, your funds to close, but hey, are you going to have to pay a commission on this too? Because that's something we're going to need to basically include into all this to make sure at the end of the day you've got the funds to close.
Most important takeaway is find an agent that you trust and you get along with and have an honest discussion with them. Negotiate whatever it may be, but it's going to be between you and your agent. And then make sure that you're very comfortable, sign the agreement, and then go from there. And honestly, this is going to become a new normal as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
In the very near future. So this may feel weird for now, but it's going to be just as normal as everything was before leading up to it.
Especially with this new agreement, it's very common that, you call your realtor and be like, hey, I want to go see this property or that property. Okay, let's go. And you meet there and you hop in and you check it out and go on your way. Well, if you and your agent haven't met yet or, had any kind of contact yet or anything like that, you're going to have to discuss this agreement first.
Yeah,
this
it
is
is
going to
not
be
optional.
This is not an optional thing. So when you get this agreement put in front of you and you're like, wait, why are they already asking me for money? This is a requirement. This is a requirement as a realtor to be doing this. We just live in a world that you have to be a lot more transparent in, and we have to be upfront in, and we have to be explaining things in very detail, and that includes this form as well.
We appreciate you tuning in today. Hope that this helped, and we will bring you the next chapter of this as it develops, I assume, in the near future, and kind of give you an update on that. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
This podcast is sponsored by Residential Mortgage, LLC, NMLS numbers 167729, 196, 576, and 1820404. Equal housing lender.